And there they go.
All right, Mike, third leg of Saturday's All Stakes, All Dirt Pick 5 at Churchill Downs. Race 8 is one of the favorite races for you and I of the entire racing calendar. This is the Grade 1 Derby City Distaff Stakes. And the reason I say that is because we've got 8 older fillies and mares sprinting 7 furlongs. And what could be, we could have probably the most exciting finish other than the Derby from the entire day come down in this race. There's a lot of great fillies in here. You could cox them up and call them home if you just want the 2 horses on the inside.
You could do that, but I think you may not win the race. It's my top pick is coming outside of that. First off, I got to admit, selecting this race does make me a little sad. I think I've picked Bell's the One. I don't know, maybe 8 straight races, 7. It's been a lot of races in a row that I've picked Bell's the One to win, and she has treated me wonderfully. Let's be very clear. Ever since I think I caught her at 13-1 at Churchill in the winning colors, she's won multiple races for me. She's won.
Everybody listening, that's take a shot. By the way, he brought up Bell's the One in the winning colors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, it's happened a couple times in this show. She's 4 for 6 with 2 seconds her last 2. I'm not even including her on the ticket. That's how good I think this race is. I usually love Bell's the One. She's completely didn't make my ticket. My top pick is going to be the 5-horse Obligatory. Look, this horse is, again, getting the right pace set up in my mind. I think there's a ton of speed in here. I'm going to use one of the speed horses, but I'm going to pick 2 closers to go with it. The pace setup is good for Bell's the One, but I think Obligatory is a better version of her. Bell's the One is 6. You've seen the top end of Bell's the One. When these mares get older, they fall off quickly. You're not going to see a lot of improvement. Obligatory is 4. Obligatory has a win over Churchill going 7 furlongs with the right pace setup. I think you get that pace setup again today. And we talked about when races set up the right way and when buyers set up the right way, I really gravitate toward those horses. Throughout the 3-year-old campaign, you were seeing low 90s consistently from Obligatory. First race off the layoff, first race as a 4-year-old, bam, 95. It tells me this horse has a chance to progress big time again next out. Any progression off that 95 makes Obligatory really tough. I'm going to put her on top here.
And I didn't use her. I still can't get over all the trash you laid on your girl Bell's the One. My God.
I didn't lay any trash on her. I gave her a bunch of compliments.
So much trash.
A bunch of compliments. This is the toughest field she's faced in a long time.
That is true. That is very true. This is an extremely tough field. Listen, Obligatory, my thing with her, you got a 4-year-old, so older, Curlin daughter. That's a great thing. Track could be muddy. That's a great thing. I don't like the price on her at 7-2. I also don't like that she struggled twice at this distance in the past. The one time that she was successful, you brought up the 8 Bells, she was 16-1. After that race, we all went, not Obligatory is great. We went, those horses are shit. They all lost to Obligatory when she was dead last, running like a donkey. The Fairgrounds Oaks that she had run in, we thought maybe she could win because we liked her maiden win, and she was terrible in that. Granted, 2 turns, but still, like, this horse was a complete surprise in the 8 Bells, and now to me at 7-2, I don't want her against anything because, again, this is by far the toughest field that this filly has faced, and she's a very short price.
Well, you continue to slander Obligatory for no real reason. Look, you're right. We were surprised at 16-1. You know what we have since then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional data points, which now can back up why that 16-1 was probably incorrect in that spot. I also had her in that race as well at 16-1, just for the record. So, like, look, the Acorn next out, going a mile, which is probably a little further than she wants to go, faces search results, runs second. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Faces Bella Sophia in the Grade 1 test. Kind of runs a bad race there, but doesn't break well at all. So I'm gonna give her a pass for that. Faces Clairiere going 2 turns next. That's not an easy spot. Not what she wants to do. The Ravens run at Keeneland is the one question mark. That's where she probably should have run better. Probably should have run better there. But then comes back.
Favorite.
Yeah, fine. Comes back and beats Matera, who I think is like one of the better horses we're going to see all weekend. So that's a heck of a win going a mile at Churchill. And then comes back and runs a career best buyer the first of a 4-year-old season. Those 6 data points completely wipe out the 1 data point that you're bringing up.
Yeah, but no, you included another data point that wipes out. That Raven one was just a giant wet fart. No, I'm not going to use her. She could win. I'm not going to use her. Not for me. My top pick, Mike, even though you got off the Bell's the One train, horse who you cannot jump off the train of is the 2 Just One Time. This is a filly who we have loved since she joined the Brad Cox barn at the beginning of the year. Goes in the Inside Information Stakes, and we're like, well, you know, she's a speed demon, blah, blah, blah. She has one from stalking, but she's probably going to have to be on the pace. And can she handle it first time facing all these great horses? And then in the post parade, she's a mess. And in the paddock, she's a mess. And in the gate, she's fractious. She breaks poorly. And we're going, well, this is what happens when you come up to the big leagues. And she still won.
Yep.
And then she goes to the Grade 1 Madison. We're like, well, shit, she won that. We said on this show, she won that despite herself. She's got to win this one, right? You're damn right she did. Both wins for Brad Cox, 7 furlongs, one time on fast, one time in the mud. So whatever you throw at her track-wise on Saturday, she's going to handle it. That race at Gulfstream, she beats Four Graces, who's the 8 horse in here. She goes to Keeneland. She beats Bell's the One, Kamari, Lady Rocket, Center Isle, and Four Graces again. 5 horses who are the 7 that she has to face here. They're all in here. Even if she's not your top pick, I do not understand why you would not use Just One Time on your ticket. And I know you did, so I'm not accusing you. I'm just saying to anybody who's listening to this, why would you not use her?
Yeah, I don't see how you can pass on her after that last race. I thought it was really impressive. Now, she beat Bell's the One by 3/4 of a length, but if you go back and you watch the race, it was much more impressive than 3/4 of a length. I agree that this is the one concern. It's kind of the funeral, but the difference is we're actually getting a better price than we did the last 2 times. So I'm not as worried about the wedding funeral angle here because the price is a little bit better, not even worse than what we saw last time. She is a slight favorite here. This is another race in this sequence. I don't think you're going to see a heavy favorite. If you have a big opinion here, I may try and single obligatory in a press ticket here because I think it really separates you. But I do like Just the One as well. These are the 2 horses I currently have in that must-use spot for the Somobomb. So to me, it's between the 2 and the 5. I think the 5 is the top pick, but it's tough for me to leave off the 2. So I agree with you with Just One Time. Another horse where it has that same setup where you had those mid to high 90s as a 2-year-old runs a very, or 3-year-old runs a very good race as a 4-year-old to kick off the career. It's a logical improvement step here. So if either the 5 or the 2 improve, it's going to be tough for any of these older mares to be able to run with these 4-year-olds. And we're to a point in the season where these 4-year-olds are going to be fully mature now. So you're going to see big time efforts from these horses second off the layoff. I did go 3 deep here. I did use the other Brad Cox horse. Look, if Lady Rocket runs back to that Aqueduct effort 2 back, it's going to be tough for anyone to beat her. And when you see that, to me, it's just that's the one that I look at and I say, okay, that caused an issue. I also I don't think we're going to go as fast as we went in the Madison. I don't think we're going to see a 22, 44 and 2. And Lady Rocket's going to go to the lead. And one thing that I'm still not sure about with Churchill, and this is something that can be a problem. Yesterday's speed was exceptional at Churchill. Today's speed has not been as good. Churchill has a tendency on big days to play toward inside speed. This is your inside speed. If she catches the right track, she could be a Lady Rocket and just take off and no one can catch her down the lane. So I want to have, if I'm going to play a speed horse here, I'm going to use the inside speed on Lady Rocket. I'm going to end up 1-2-5 in this spot and hopefully we can get through this leg.
Yep, I went 1-2-6, so we agree on the Cox horses here. The fact that she lost the Grade 1 Madison after setting the pace, I don't think it was the off track because she did win an off track last year, but it just 5 starts off the bench, man. And she's a speed horse, and 7 furlongs is a tricky distance. If that race is 6, Mike, maybe she wins, but this horse was trending so far upward at the end of 2021 that it's like it was at the point when the Aqueduct race happened to go for one that we're like, if the Breeders' Cup had been just a couple of months earlier, or if it was peaking a couple months earlier, she could have gone to the Breeders' Cup where we had 5 horses. Like, she could have easily been a contender in that spot. So glad to see her here. I used our old friend Bell's the One. She's 4-for-8 at Churchill, won this race in 2020. Of those 8 starts, the 4 losses, 3 times she was second at Churchill. She's a lot of fun. I'm kind of hoping, like Lady Rocket, she just needed the race in the Grade 1 Madison. She did show interest in just one time, who's my top pick in this race, ended up catching her there. So with a little bit more fitness, a little bit of time, she is 6. They knocked the rust off. I'm going to use her. I understand if you're willing to pass on her here. I just think, Mike, you're making a mistake.
That's fine. I mean, I'm using the winner, and you don't have the winner, so that's cool. No big deal there. Let's go through some of the chat here because I do think there's a bunch of interesting ones. Yeah, I was going to pull up Kevin's comment as well. Kamari is one that you got to respect in this spot. Horse is very good on turf, very good on dirt. I'm just not sure that this is how she wins the race. I mean, I know 2 back at Gulfstream she was able to stalk and win, but that was against much, 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 much worse. She was able to win the Grade 1 Madison when Bell's the One ran second. That was in 2021. But again, they didn't go quite as fast as I think they're going to go here. So for me, I think it's just going to be tough for Kamari to get the trip that she wants.
It feels like she peaked.
Wants. Yeah, the one thing I'll say, if there's some moisture in the track, Kamari's by Munnings, and all of a sudden that could kind of pick her up. So Kamari might be one of those where you want to watch the track and see how it's playing, and if it is playing as a muddy track, Kamari is probably a horse that you got to take a step forward. I don't have notes on Lady Rocket, Charles B, for that specific race. Aqueduct can often be an inside rail speed favoring track as well. They've had Golden Rail days there, so I wouldn't be shocked. I don't have specific notes for that day at Aqueduct, but if you're saying there's a bias, that definitely could be something you go into play. And then Rob brings up kind of how it's been playing here. The inside water is holding a lot more water. They kind of switched up the track a little bit, and so moisture seems to be moving toward the inside. I've noticed today as well, the horses in the lead are going 3 and 4 wide down the lane. So they're clearly trying to stay away from that rail. So the rail is definitely bad down the stretch right now based on the way the jockeys are playing it. It'll be interesting to see, that speed is holding in that 3 path, because that's how they're going to kind of adjust to that, is you're going to see these jockeys come off the rail and kind of run down the middle of the track in the stretch.
What's nice about this race is that it is the 8th on the card, and by that point, a world-class jockey like an Ortiz, like a Pratt, like pretty much everybody that's going to be in this race, they're going to know by this point what the track is playing like. And also, Churchill Aaron says this a lot, Churchill as a track famously dries quickly, so if the rain is heavy in the morning, maybe by race 8 it starts to dry out and maybe that inside gets a little better. But trust that the jockeys, if you're betting a horse with a world-class jockey on it, trust that jockey is going to understand by race 8 what to do with the horse. Sorry, go ahead.
Saez just did it in the 8th race. So Saez is already on it here, and we're still 2 days away. So you got plenty of time for these jockeys to kind of learn their way through the track. But he went 4 wide on the 10 horse who was in the lead, and the 4 horse Top Gunner ended up running that horse down from the 6 path. So you already are seeing these horses definitely kind of go wide, and I think the jockeys are already adjusting to it.
My last note on Lady Rocket, while that might have been bias at Aqueduct, 6 wins in her career, 6 different tracks. Does not matter where she runs or what. There can't be the same bias at 6 different tracks for Lady Rocket.
The buyer stands out. The buyer was 107 that day, and the highest previous was 94. So I think that's the main reason. The other horse in here, Edgeway, I think we should at least mention. Actually, we should talk. Like, this is a great race. We could talk about every single horse, to be honest. Sure. Edgeway's going to go to the lead. Edgeway's going to be a pace problem for Lady Rocket. It's one of the reasons I think there's a ton of speed in here. The horse that's interesting to me at a big time price, if you want to get a little crazy, I don't hate Center Isle at 15-1. I'm not going to use this horse on my ticket, but if you want to, again, if you have a big opinion somewhere else, you can just draw a line through that last race for Center Isle. It was first off the layoff, first out as a 5-year-old. The horse hopped at the start, had absolutely no chance, wants to be more forwardly placed, and found herself 7 of 9 early. I mean, essentially Saez wrapped up Center Isle, and the fact that Lobo decides to come right back into a stakes tells me that there was no problem, that the horse was fit, everything was fine. The break is what caused the bad effort. It's a complete line through it, and it really muddies the form because it's first off the layoff, so you're not sure whether or not you can expect a big time step forward. So I don't hate Center Isle at 15-1 either.
At that price, I don't hate her. She wasn't for me because I think that the horses that she faced, even last year as a 4-year-old, who she was beating, wasn't that solid. She beat Frank's Rocket by that point. Frank's Rocket was a shell of herself. You look to the year before that, Frank's Rocket dusted her twice. So she hasn't faced the solid horses yet, but all great points. And again, 15-1, not going to talk you off. Edgeway for me, Mike, she's a California horse, and there's really, other than Gamine or Cece who beat her. Yeah, she was second in the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint, but first of all, that not the greatest race. There were 5 horses. Gamine was 3rd. You had California have horses in at least the top 3. I don't remember who was 4th. She hasn't beaten anything that makes me say, yeah, come to California, or come to Kentucky, John Sadler, who we've always had these questions about shipping. Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, it's funny how people forgot that after, I can't remember that one.
Accelerate.
Yeah, Accelerate. Who won?
He does it one time and everybody forgets. No, it was one time that he did it, people.
The pace also doesn't set up for Edgeway. He wants to be closer to it, and there's just faster horses in here. I recognize Rob's face here. So this is Rob from KY over on Twitter, too. Robbie. And so he is incredibly intelligent when it comes to Kentucky. I love the fact that we got such intelligent viewers.
Only that, though. Only that, nothing else.
That, and I believe it's HVAC systems, also very good with HVAC systems. But I love the fact that we have this intelligent viewership so that they can let us know things like this. So the track's a little different. The elevated turf course has changed the dynamics. There's water standing at the finish line for a good 2 hours after it rained yesterday. So a track that generally dries out quickly. Churchill traditionally has dried out very quickly. The rail specifically, as the water washes in, there's nowhere to go because that turf course is lifted up. So good information from Rob there. Appreciate it, man.
So what we're saying is, if you lose a ticket sequence here because the inside was still terrible and it didn't drain properly like you wanted to, you can blame Churchill for installing the new turf track. That's what we're saying.
Or if you lose a sequence because the rail is golden on Saturday, you can blame Rob.
There you go. Either way, don't blame us.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels, never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,